At the beginning of every single new 2K that drops, we always see the best point guard build, the best lockdown, best center, best popper. You already know. You're on YouTube. You can see those type of videos. But at the end of the day, when you're playing a video game, you just want to have fun, right? So I'm going to be bringing you the top 5 most fun builds in NBA 2K23. If you end up making any of these builds or you just enjoy the video, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm on the road to 200K subscribers. We're trying to hit it by the end of the year. It helps out the channel a ton and it would just make me happy. Before I forget, all these builds are going to be made on next gen, but you can copy all the stats down and get basically the same build if you are on current gen. So just keep that in mind when you're following along with the build. Coming in at number 5, we're going to make a shooting guard build, and this build is going to be very nice if you want to play the 3-and-D type of game. We're going to keep our height at 6'5". We're going to drop the weight all the way down to, I believe, minimum at 175 pounds, and we're going to drop our wingspan to 6'7". But do not worry, the wingspan is a little bit low, but the defense on this build is going to be impeccable. And body shape, all up to you. Whatever you want to look like, you can make your player look. I'm gonna just go with build so we look a little bit bigger because we're so low on the weight. One thing to keep in mind when I'm making these builds, you don't have to copy everything I'm doing. If you want to have a certain stat higher or lower on your build, by all means, go ahead. You're the one going to be spending your hard-earned money or just grinding up VC to upgrade this build. At the end of the day, it's your choice. Change whatever you like. I do not care, but this is just a basic template to go off of. But don't be scared to change anything, man. It's your money at the end of the day. Now, when making a new build, I always personally believe to start on your physicals because sometimes you forget a stupid stat like, oh, I forgot my stamina, I forgot my speed, I forgot my excel. When you make a build that you might think is a demigod and it just doesn't turn out good. So we're gonna get our speed and acceleration to an 80. We're gonna get our vertical to a 65 right here. The reason we do this is so we can get our driving. Let me just put it up real quick so y'all understand what we're doing this. We're gonna get this to an 80 so we can unlock quick drops, and you need a 65 vertical to unlock those dunk packages. On current gen, you don't need vertical to get any dunk packages, so keep that in mind. That's a thing you can tweak if you are on current gen. That's one of the only differences in this builder. So you could drop this to like a 60 and you'd still get the quick drop offs. But now finally for the stamina, we're just gonna give this to a 90 because we're not gonna be a primary ball handler on this build. I mean, we still can get the job done dribbling, don't get me wrong, but a 90 should suit our playstyle. Now we only really upgraded our dunk and our finishing, so all we gotta do is get a couple more badges. So I'm gonna upgrade our close shot to a 58 right here just so we can get 10 finishing badges. Now the shooting is definitely the strong point on this build. We're actually going to max out our 3-pointer at a 96, which unlocks Hall of Fame Agent 3s, which is a core badge on next gen, but on current gen you can just put it on for I think like 8 badge points. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that. But we also get 27 shooting badges, which is insane. We're not going to touch the midi. We're not going to touch the free throw. Actually, we do want to put our free throw up 1 before I forget. But yeah, 27 badges is going to be a lot more than every other shooting build in this game. So you're going to be sparking up from deep very, very well. Now onto the playmaking. We're going to start off with our ball handle. We want to get it to a 77. Now we don't unlock any particular animations at 77, but we do unlock silver quick first steps. So that's going to be very important on getting open on this build. For our speed with ball, we want to get this to an 80 right here. And on basically every single build you make, you do want to get the passing accuracy up. Plus, it helps us get playmaking badges. What I've always heard from 2K Labs and all these other YouTubers is to get your pass accuracy to a 70. So that's exactly what I did. That also gives us 17 playmaking badges. Now on to the defense. Probably one of the best parts about this build. We're going to start off with our perimeter defense, and we're going to get this to an 86, which I believe unlocks silver clamps right here. Yep, there we go. We're going to get our steel to an 85, which unlocks some sort of steel badge. I don't remember. Oh yeah, it's silver glove, which will help us a lot because steals are very overpowered in this game. But since we're 6'5", we do want to get some rebounds, so we're going to upgrade our defensive rebound to at least a 60 right here, and we're going to get our interior defense to a 60. Now the reason that is maybe we switch on to a big and we want to be able to stop him a little bit. I'm not really sure how, but I accidentally lowered my speed to a 75, so we're going to get this right back up to an 80 like we wanted it, and we have a couple points remaining. I'm just going to throw this on our standing dunk, and boom, we've completed the build. Now we get to choose our takeovers. We don't get too much variety, but we made a 3-and-D build at the end of the day, so I'd probably go with spotted precision, and I think most of the locks use extreme clamps, so that's what we're gonna go with. And we have built. This screen takes a very long time, so just be patient with me. We get shades of Del Curry, DeJounte Murray, Desmond Bane. And what is the build name? NBA 2K23. It is a shooter. So people don't even know we're a lockdown like that. And you start clamping people up with a shooter, and they'll be very confused. Next up at number 4 on the top 5 fun builds, I got you guys with a center build. Now, I don't make too many center builds unless they're extraordinarily fun because I just find their roles kind of boring. So if you're looking to play a fun big man type of role, this is the build for you. Like I said in the last time, handedness and jersey number really don't matter. I'm going to do the same thing every time. We are kind of undersized on this build, but if you want to have fun and unlock all the jump shots and actually some good drill moves on this build, we want to go 6'9". But to make up for our small height, we're going to max out our weight, I believe, at 285 pounds. And same for the wingspan, we're going to get this to 7'7". And of course, we're so fat, you might as well go with the burly body shape when our player is looking huge. And like I always say, you want to start off with your physical, so we're going to get our speed to a 72 right here, which is actually not that bad for a max weight center build at 6'9". We're going to get our excel only to a 60, but that'll still get the job done. Of course, went max weight for a very specific reason. We want to have higher interior defense, all that, but we want to get bully on Hall of Fame, so we're going to get our strength to a 95, and we want to get our vertical up to a 75, which unlocks contact dunks on this build. And while we're at it, I'll mention in contact dunks, so let's get our driving dunk up to an 88. Now, the reason we go 88, we don't unlock any specific contact dunks, but we unlock the Michael Jordan dunk package, so we could be taken off from the free throw line, which last year was a really good dunk package. I don't know how good it is this year, but from what I've seen, I think it's going to be pretty good. And to finish off our physicals, we're going to get our stamina to a 91 right here, and boom, now we can start with the fun part on this build, the actual attributes. So we're going to get our driving layup to a 75 right here. We want to get some good standing dunk packages, so we're going to get this all the way up to a 90 right here. And I do want to get an extra finishing badge, so we're going to get our close shot to a 63, giving us 18. Now, you might have been thinking this build was going to be upgraded like an inside, but no sir, not today. We're actually going to get our 3-point shot to a 75 on an inside build. That's pretty nice. We can shoot in the corner spot up, but we can't go much higher than that because then we won't have enough attributes to put in our playmaking and our defense, and then the build just really won't be a great center anymore. Now, for the playmaking, like I said last time, you should always get at least a 70 passing accuracy, so that's what I'm going to go with. Ball handle, I want to get this to a 70. That's why I went 6'9". We get access to a lot of good drill moves, so we're going to bump this up right here, and we're going to get our speed with ball maxed out at a 68. Doesn't seem too fast, but we can still dribble a little bit if the ball comes our way. Now on to probably the best part about this build, the defense. Starting off with our interior defense, we're going to get this to an 89 right here, which is actually very nice. And we're going to get our block to a 99, which is insane. I haven't seen too many 99 block builds in the park yet, but I think it's going to be insanely good this year. Now, defensive rebounding, we're going to get this to a 90 right here. And our O-board, we're going to get this to an 80. Nothing too crazy, but we kind of had to sacrifice a little bit of our defense on this build to be able to shoot the shot from the outside. If you don't want any shooting on this build, by all means, you can lower this, but like I said, you won't get that sharp shooting takeover that we really wanted to get. I liked this build up for a long time. It was kind of hard to finesse the build name that I'm going to show you guys and the sharp shooting takeover, so you can switch up this build if you want, but I personally think this is the best version you can go with. And now we just have like one attribute point remaining, so we're just going to throw this on our free throw, and boom, we're 99 overall. And like I said, we get access to sharp shooting takeover, which is insane, but if you kind of want to hide the fact that you can shoot, you might not want to go with it. We also get access to playmaking, rim protector, and our glass cleaning takeover, so I'm going to go with see the future. You can either go stuff blocks if you don't want to let people know you can shoot, but if you just don't care and you actually want people to guard you from outside and you can take them off the dribble and get an easy dunk, you can go with spot of precision. It's really up to you, but for now, I might want to hide the fact that I can shoot, so I'm going to go with stuff blocks. And as you guys can see, the build name is actually very fire. It's pretty catfish if you ask me. Shades of Marcus Camby, Christian Wood, Jared Allen, and we have built, ladies and gentlemen, a paint beast with sharp shooting takeover access. I don't know if y'all want to rock it, but that's the build. All right, now we're at number 3 on my top 5 rarest builds. We want to make this build at the small forward position. Henderson jersey number, y'all know the drill by now. It really doesn't matter. We're going to go 6'6" on the height. We're going to get our weight to 246 pounds. This is another one of them bully abusing type of builds. If you are new to my channel, you might not know about this build. I'm going to go over this one pretty quickly. If you want to see more in-depth talk about the attributes and badges, by all means, go ahead. You can click this video up on screen. I made a very full in-depth video that you can watch if you really want to know more about this build, but I'm just going to go over this one pretty briefly because I've already talked about it on the channel. Wingspan, we're going to go 6'10". Body shape, up to you, doesn't matter. And like I said, I already showed this build on the channel, so I'm just going to go zooming through these attributes. We're going to get our speed to a 77, which isn't too fast, but it's going to get the job done. 68 acceleration. Strength, you already know this is a bully build. We're going to max this out at a 95. Vertical, we're going to get this to a 75 to get all the the contact dunk package we want. And our stamina, we're going to get this to a 95. Now onto the finishing, we're going to start off with our driving dunk. We're going to get this to an 84 just to unlock some contact dunks. Driving layup, we're going to get this to an 87. And we're going to get our close shot to a 75 right here, giving us 18 finishing badges. Now onto the shooting. This is really a slashing sharpshooter type of build. The sharpshooting is like the main priority, so we're going to actually not max this out. We're going to get this to a 92, which I believe is a 1 away, which gives us 24 shooting badges, which is just enough to get the job done. We can still shoot really well on this build. I try to get it higher, but then we really just have to sacrifice so much on our other categories, and I didn't really want to do that. Playmaker, we got our ball handle to an 85, which unlocks basically all the good drill moves except for the top of the top elite moves that you get at 92. And we're going to get our speed with ball to an 84, which is actually pretty good. You might have thought this build would be pretty slow, but with the ball in our hands, 84 is actually pretty solid. When I made this build, I didn't touch the passing accuracy, and the reason I did that because I mainly play the ones and I don't really pass to anybody because there's no other people on the court to pass to. So if you want to touch it up, like I said earlier, you can switch around the attributes to make the build perfect for you, but this is what I did when I made this build. But now onto the defense, we got our perimeter to an 86, which unlocks silver clamps, which is actually pretty high for a build like this. I forgot we ended up getting that higher perimeter defense. We're going to get our block to a 70 right here, and finally we're going to get our defensive rebound to a 59, and boom, that's the build. Actually, forgot to put our last couple attributes down for you, and now that is the build. 99 overall. Now onto the takeovers, we're basically a slasher sharpshooter, but we get access to all of these. I don't really know we got lockdown takeover. This is a great variety, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm gonna go with finishing moves and spot up precision so we can knock the ball down and we can dunk on some people in the paint. And yeah, that is the build. The comparisons on this build are actually pretty nice from what I remember. OG Anunoby, Dennis Scott, and Mikal Bridges, and we have built kind of a basic name, but it's an inside-out scorer. Let's hop on to the next build. At number 2, I've got this 6'9" point guard build. It's something new I haven't showed you guys before, and I think you guys are going to like it a lot. So like I said, we're at point guard. We're gonna go the point guard position. Y'all already know the drill. Henderson jersey number do not matter. For the height, we're going to go 6'9". I wanted this build to be an absolute mismatch nightmare in the rec, in the park, in any single game mode you can play, even in the cages. Who cares? Most of the point guards we're going to be guarding will not be anywhere close to our height, and I just think this build is going to be absolutely insane on all aspects of the game. At 6'9", this build is literally a point guard. At 6'9", we're not going to be as fast as all these other guards, so I did want to lower the weight to get as much speed as we possibly could, but we don't really lose anything if we go up 2 more, so we're going to get this to 187. Wingspan, we're going to get this to 7'6". Body shape really doesn't matter, it's all up to you. And of course, we're going to start off with our physicals. We're going to get our speed to a 75, our excel to a 78, and our vert to an 80 right here. But do not forget our stamina. We're getting this to a 90 as well, and we're going to get our vertical to a 45. Now on to the finishing. We're going to start with our driving dunk, and we literally get every single good contact dunk package in the game at a 92, which is insane. Driving layup, we're going to get this to an 85, and we're going to bump our close shot up to a 76, and we're getting our standing dunk to a 70, so we can get some good standing dunk packages over these smaller guards who think they can guard us, but they really can't. Now, one surprising thing about this build, the three-pointer can go pretty damn high. We're gonna get this to an 83. Now, I actually went a 1 too high, but an 83 is very nice for a 6'9" point guard type of build. We can literally do whatever we want, and we're gonna get our mid-range to a 78 right here, and we're gonna bump our free throw up 1, giving us 20 shooting badges. Now, onto the playmaking. You guys are literally not gonna believe this. We get our ball handle to an 85. Yes, an 85 on a 6'9" build. Our speed with ball to a 76, which honestly isn't that bad, and you can't call a build a point guard unless you have great passing. So we're gonna get our passing accuracy to an 83, which gives us 21 playmaking badges, which is definitely enough to get open and dribble on this build. Now onto the defense. You might think, oh, this build's so good enough, it's not gonna have no defense. No, this build is actually pretty damn good. Interior defense gets the job done at a 67. We're going to get an 86 perimeter defense, so we're basically a lock 2, and we're going to get our steal to an 85, so we get some silver glove action in there as well. Block, we're getting it to a 70, so we can get the bare minimum to get some nice blocks on this build. We're gonna get our D board to a 73, which is actually honestly not that bad. Keep in mind, max wingspan, we're going against smaller guards. We're still going to grab almost every single rebound compared to the guards we're going to be playing, because they're going to be like maybe 6'7" at the highest, but most of them are going to be like 6'3" to 6'5" range. And our O board, which will actually be very clutch, we are in a mismatch type of situation where we got a tiny guard on us, a 67, which doesn't seem too high, but it's going to get the job done if we're playing a very small guard. And check this out, bro. 21 defensive badges, 22 playmaking, 20 shooting, and 18 finishing. This build is literally a point god. I low-key could have put this at number 1 on the list, but I think the build at number 1 is pretty deserving for its spot. For the takeovers, we get access to finishing, shot creating, sharpshooting, and lockdown, which is actually pretty nice. For the first one, as you guys can see, I already put it on ankle breaking shots. And our second one, I'm gonna throw it on one of the lockdown takeovers. I think extreme clamps. Very interesting takeovers for a build like this. I think it's very good, very well rounded. As you guys can see, our comparisons are pretty accurate. We get Penny Hardaway, Lonzo Ball, and Ben Simmons, but I think this build is better than all 3 of them combined. Okay, that might be a bit of an exaggeration, but we have built another inside out score, kind of an L name, but the build is elite. Finally, we've made it. The number 1 spot on my top 5 most fun builds on this game, NBA 2K23. If you don't know what game we're playing, what are you doing, man? You watched this far in the video. Also, you haven't subscribed? What the hell is wrong with you? But anyways, back to the build stuff. We're going to make a small forward left-handed jersey number. You already know, yada, yada, yada. You get it. Now for the height, you might get scared away from this build, but trust me, bro, I would not steer you guys in the wrong direction. I actually have gameplay on this build that kind of just gave it away right there, but we're going to go 6'3". Y'all probably know what is going on anyways. 6'3" small forward demigod. You already know what's going on. We're going to bump our weight up to 201 pounds, and we're going to max out our wingspan at 7 foot. Starting off with the physicals like we always do, we're going to get our speed to an 80, our excel to an 83, our strength to a 74, our vert to an 85, and our stamina at a 99. Similar to my slasher sharpshooter build, I actually have some gameplay on this build, so if you want to see that, boom, card on the screen right now, go watch that. If you don't believe in this 6'3" small forward wave, click it. I'll prove you wrong right here. But anyways, now we go to the attributes, and we're going to get our driving dunk to a 93, which actually at 92 we unlock all the packages, but at 93 we get gold posterizer, so we can just dunk on everybody. Driving layer, we're gonna get this to an 85, which unlocks all the good packages. Close shot, we're gonna get this to an 85 as well, so we can body all these smaller guards down low. And our standing dunk, we're going to max this out at a 70, so we can just get some nice dunks around the basket. Nothing too crazy, but we're getting thrown a lot. We can catch it standing, and maybe we can get the occasional little poster with a little bit of contest down there. Now onto the shooting, we're going to get our 3-pointer to a 77. No, do not freak out. I see you guys panicking. Look at that, the dislike button. Do not hit it. This build is nice, bro. Like I said, if you don't believe me, boom. And our mid-range, we're gonna get this to a 75. And trust me, bro, that is all you need. Also, bump our free throw out to 54. There we go. For the playmaking, we're going to get our ball handle to an 85, which gets basically most of the essential drill moves, except for the super fancy 92 ones, but that just takes too much damn attributes from my build. Speed with ball, we're going to get this to a 90, probably the fastest build on this entire list. The passing, actually, we're going to get this to an 83 right here. Boom, 25 playmaking badges, which is actually so much. I don't even know if we need that much, but we're gonna be throwing dots, we're gonna be breaking ankles, we're gonna be super speedy. Now that I think about it, this build really reminds me of the 2K20 play glass. I don't know how many of y'all remember that. Maybe you're all new to 2K, but a little bit smaller and on crack. Interior defense, we're going to get this to a 65, which is max. Perimeter defense, we're going to get this to an 87. Steal, 72, not too crazy, but we get all the essential badges on at least bronze. We're gonna upgrade our block to a 47, which doesn't sound too crazy, but we get a surprising amount of blocks. We do get bronze chase down. We can still swap people out of here very well. I don't know how, but it works. And for the rebounder, we're gonna max out our O board and our D board at an 81 and an 87. And boom, that's the build. 23 finishing, 17 shooting, 25 playmaking, and 20 defense with immaculate physicals. That's what I call the most fun build in NBA 2K23. Now on to the takeovers. I didn't even tell you about this. The best part, in my opinion, we get glass cleaning takeover on a 6'3" build. That is hilarious to me. I'm gonna go and see the future, and for other takeover, probably gonna go with finishing moves so we can get those contact dunks. But do not leave yet. I know the video is wrapping up. The name makes this build so much better, but let me show you guys the comparisons real quick. They're not really accurate, kind of like a Russell Westbrook build. He's not even the shades of, but the build name is and interior finisher at 6'3" with glass cleaning takeover. I know it really doesn't make sense, but ladies and gentlemen, this is the most fun build in NBA 2K23. Actually, I have one honorable mention on this list. My stretch 4 with contact dunks didn't quite make the list, but if you want to see some gameplay on this build, make sure y'all click on screen right here. It's actually pretty good. Make sure y'all check it out. Remember, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, but I'll catch you guys over there at that stretch with contact dunks video, man.